star cutout cookies. So in your box this week, you will have a bag of sugar cookie mix. You will have some red, white, and blue sprinkles, and then a star cookie cutter. You will need from home a stick of butter, 1 egg, a little bit of flour, a bowl for mixing, a rolling pin, and I'm having a spoon just so I can start mixing it with that. And then one little thing so you can measure your tablespoon. Okay, so the first thing I did is I washed my hands with warm water for 20 seconds, dried them, and I put the oven, I preheated it to 375. That's what the instructions say to do. I'm gonna follow these instructions, and I'm gonna follow for cutout cookies because I wanna use my star cookie cutter. So the first thing I'm going to do, tear here. And I'm gonna take my cookie mix and just pour it into the bowl. Then I'm gonna take my flour, and I am going to put in 3 tablespoons of flour. And then I'm gonna stir that. All right. Then I am going to take my 1 stick of butter, and I'm going to put it in this dish so I can put it in the microwave because it wants 1 stick of melted butter. I'm gonna stick them in the microwave 35 seconds. So it just calls for 1 egg. So I'm gonna take my egg into this small little bowl, crack it, make sure there are no shells. Looks good. And then I'm gonna pour it into my cookie mixture. I'm gonna check on my butter. Needs a little bit more time, so I'm gonna do 35 more seconds. Then I can mix my egg while I'm doing that. And then it's pretty much melted, so I'm gonna pour that in. Make sure I get as much out of there as possible. And then I'm going to mix it with my spoon. If you have a mixer at home, you can use that. And remember, I just washed my hands, so I am going to now touch it, and I'm gonna start mixing it with my hands. Only the people who live in my house are gonna eat these, so that's okay. All right, all of my dough is mixed together into basically a ball. So I'm gonna take my sprinkles. You can do these a couple ways. If you have icing at home, you can wait and you can do that later, and you can put the sprinkles on top of the icing. I'm gonna test out, I'm gonna put them in my dough and see how my cookies turn out. So I'm just gonna pour them in the bowl and mix it up and get that dough to collect all the sprinkles. Okay, now I'm gonna take my fingers, I just washed my hands again, promise, germ-free. I'm gonna take my fingers into the flour, and I'm just gonna pinch and spread it out over my surface that I'm gonna roll my cookies out onto. That way it doesn't stick a ton to the surface. Then I'm gonna spread that around. Okay, I'm gonna take my dough, I'm gonna take it in half. So I'm gonna take my little ball of dough that I have, split it in half, stick it right there. Then I'm gonna take my rolling pin, take a little bit of flour, put it on the rolling pin so it doesn't stick too much to the cookies. And I'm gonna roll it out nice and thin. All right, so now my dough is all rolled out. I'm gonna take my cookie cutter and I'm just going to cut stars into the cookie dough. Try and fit as many as I can. And then I'm gonna take the extra dough. I'm gonna take a spatula, lift my cookie onto the baking pan. I promise I'm not wasting this dough. I'm going to put it back into a ball, back with my other dough. I'm gonna repeat the same thing, fill up my baking sheet, get rid of my dough. I'm gonna put them in the oven for 5 to 7 minutes, and then you can enjoy them.